this. So, Dean, you came on my stream live. You agree that that's true after you called me out via somebody else's stream. That is correct, right?
Yeah.
Okay. On that stream, you made an agreement that you would come on the whatever podcast for 2 events. One event would be a debate. The other event would be that you would mingle with the crowd itself and get the feel for the show so that you could make sure that your criticisms were valid, which I thought was fair. We both entered into that agreement live, and now later you're backing out of the agreement. So let me ask you this. If it's that you're unwilling to do it on Brian's venue for whatever reason because you have some bad history with him, can we select a different venue for this live debate?
This venue. Yeah, sure. Let's select this venue, right?
No, an in-person debate.
Okay, why do you want it to be in person?
Well, because you cheat, Dean.
Oh my God, Andrew, you
Can I give you my reference? Can I give you my reference for your cheating?
No, I have a counter offer. So here's what we'll do. This will be really funny, and the clips will be like top tier. What we should do is we should both turn on our webcams. I will put up.
Well, I can't because of the program I use.
And I will put my hands up in the air, and I will steamroll you anywhere. And honestly, I think it's a compliment that you say that I cheat, because that just tells me that I'm good at what I do.
Okay. Well, let's. I'll tell you what. Turn on your webcam. Put on the blindfold. Let's go.
Okay, I got to get going.
Yeah, go. Goodbye, Parker. See you later.
Y'all. Have fun, Dean.
Let's do it, Dean.
All right, I have about 10 minutes here before me and my girlfriend go down.
Get the blindfold on, Dean. Stop talking.
Oh, you don't like to talk?
Yeah, I'm just. We'll talk as soon as you hold your end of the bargain, which you're bad at doing.
All right, Mr. Andrew. So go ahead and give me the argument here. Why is slut shaming a good thing?
Yeah, get your blindfold on first, Dean.
You're funny, Andrew.
I know.
And also, I will ask you just to calm down a little bit. I know that the heart is racing, but it's okay, Andrew. I've been there myself at a point or two in my life. So,
was that when you were making Griff videos? was your heart racing? What about when you were saying the Insler? Was your heart racing there?
Oh, no, because that's when I was 14 and a lot like you. I bet you're mad that I was just as mature as you are today at the age of 14, sir. You should
oh,
grow
man.
up,
Oh, boy, you got me with that. All right, you got your blindfold on. So, yeah, I think that social shaming in general is good. And I think that if you want to see less sluts in society, that social shame is going to assist with that.
All right, I would like to pick up where you left off with a prior guest. You had asked that guest why they do not think that promiscuity is wrong. And then they were like, I don't think it's wrong because I feel like I don't think it's wrong.
Sure.
And you said, well, you actually have to give reason.
No, I didn't. No, Dean, that's incorrect. I didn't say you have to give a reason. I just said if your reason is just because I feel that way, then it's a perfectly good counter to say, well, then my reason is because I feel that way.
Ah, perfect. So I'll expand a little bit on what she was trying to say, as I would entail that given my own position. Promiscuity, I do not...
What do you... Well, wait, hang on. What do you mean you would entail? What does that mean?
Can you repeat what I just said? I'm talking...
Yeah, well, I just want to make sure that I understand what you mean by entail. An entailment is what?
I give an X is typically what an entailment is. But to clarify...
Wait, can you say that again? I didn't hear you. You're very quiet.
Why give an X is what an entailment is, but if you just give me a moment.
I don't understand. I just want to know what an entailment is.
Yeah, I told you what an entailment is.
Okay, tell me again, but be very clear.
Why given X?
Why given X is an entailment?
Yeah, now I'm going to go back to what I was saying.
Yeah, can you walk me through how y given X, what that means?
Holy shit, Andrew, you want to do anything.
I want to be highly specific with our language. Dean, semantics are super important in a debate. You agree, right?
I actually don't think that the use of that word in that context was important at all, as it wasn't
relevant.
Well,
entailment's a philosophical term. It's relevant. So can you just very quickly walk me through?
I dispute that, Andrew. I don't think it's relevant.
Well, I'm sorry. So when we're doing a debate, if we're doing a debate, a philosophical debate, and you say the word,
you know what, Andrew, what's a fire truck? I think that's relevant.
Yeah. So anyway, so if we're doing a philosophical debate and you're talking about semantics, and you say a word like entailment, which is a loaded philosophical term, I need to know what you mean by that.
Okay. Well, how about I refuse because I want to stay on track.
Hang on. This is on track. You don't have the mute button. We're doing a philosophical debate. Can you please explain to me what entailment means?
All right. So, like, typically when we use terminology such as a logical entailment, it's just going to say if X is true, then Y must also be true.
No,
I
that's
don't
not
see-
what an entailment is.
Okay, that's how I use the term entailment.
You
use
so
a
you
different-
use your own term for philosophical entailment?
When
Really?
we define any words that we use in any colloquial sense, in any
Yeah,
conversation.
you can, but they have to make sense. So all you mean by entailment is if X, then Y? Oh,
Yes.
oh, okay. Well, then I'll remember that that's what entailment means. Go ahead.
Thank you. So now, anyways, back to what matters, because you don't want to talk about it. You're making the claim that I have to have some reason to justify the position that promiscuity isn't wrong.
I didn't make that claim.
Okay, you made that claim.
When did I make the claim? What was my actual position? Can you steel man it for me?
Of course.
Go
you
ahead.
made the claim. Well, first of all, she made the statement that it's not bad because I feel like it's not bad. And then you made the statement, well, if you want to say that, then I could say it's bad because I feel like it's bad.
Yeah, what's
But
wrong?
here's-
What's the problem with that?
Yeah, because I would say that we have to posit reason for any positive statement.
Why?
Even in the context of normativity.
Yeah, why?
Because we should have reason for the things
Why?
that we believe in. Because we want to be reasonable people.
Yeah,
Are you
but
saying
that doesn't wait. That doesn't wait. So we should use reason because we should use reason, Dean. Is that right,
yeah.
Dean? We should use reason because we should use reason. Boy, you really thought that one out.
In fact, that's not what I said.
He's fucking stupid. How did you ever think you could take me on, Dean? All right. So we should use reason because we should use reason.
Wait,
Go ahead.
Andrew, I'd actually like to clarify that. I actually think it's funny that you think you could take me on because
You're
only
getting
way
destroyed, Dean. It's not, dude. It's not even close. But keep going. I can't wait to hear
that's
more.
the thing. I'm not getting destroyed at all because you just told me the
Yeah,
only
just
way
keep
to
telling
justify
yourself
the
that.
position is to be unreasonable. You keep telling
No.
yourself
You
that
said
it's
that reason.
I'm
You said the
telling you
reason that we should use reason is because it's reasonable.
Actually, that's not what I said. In my
Okay, then why should we use reason, Dean?
Yeah, because axiomatically speaking, we should all want to be reasonable individuals. And
What
you
is
know,
that?
reason-
Well, wait. Okay, well, Dean, axiomatically speaking, we shouldn't all be
Oh, you
reasonable.
want to be a reasonable person, Andrew?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
you're
actually
getting
it's just an
destroyed now.
axiom, Dean.
Argue the position.
It's just an axiom, Dean. What's wrong with an axiom?
Tell me that you don't want to be a reasonable person.
Well,
Tell me that
if
don't
you
justify
state
what
if you
do
state that
do.
axiomatically,
You can't even
you're
argue,
still
you
spurging,
can't-
Dean. You're still
I'm
spurging.
taking the blindfold
You're
off
spurging.
because
Why? Because
you have
you're freaking out,
telling me
Dean. You're spurging
that
out bad.
You have to be an
You're
unreasonable
really
person
spurging, Dean.
that with unjustified claims without evidence.
Boy, you're
in order to
really
make sure
spurging,
that this
Dean.
claim I'm going to sue.
So anyway, Dean, when you say that something is axiomatic,
Hold on. Wait. Sorry, Andrew, I got to interrupt. Dean, you're in breach. You're breaching the agreed upon terms.
yeah, but he does
Put
that.
the blindfold back on.
They do lie. He does lie a lot. I mean,
I'm in like the ninth circle of hell here. I have a blindfold on my face. He's screaming at me. Why should you?
nobody screamed. No, the only one screaming is you, Dean.
Dean, do you have a pink blindfold you could use?
So anyway, Dean, why should we use axioms?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I don't understand what you're not going to answer my question. You don't know why we should use axioms?
Yeah, because I want to debate you on your position. That
Yeah, and we are
social-
debating on the position. We're starting with with what you consider a philosophical entailment, which is if A then B.
How we got here.
Okay, you seem to be very upset, Dean. Do you want to do this debate or not?
Yeah, I asked you a question. Walk
Okay,
me
what's the
through
question?
The original prompt.
Yeah,
Can you
we're
circle
talking about the original prompt. I'm talking to you right now about the original prompt. You say that so your criticism, if I can steel man you, if you don't mind, is that an entailment is if A then B. Okay, but also that it was incorrect for me to do an internal critique of somebody else's position if they say that based on their feelings X is true, and I can't say, well, then therefore based on my feelings Y is true. So then we went into meta-ethics, which we would have to do in order to make a determination about truth claims at all, about knowledge claims at all. And so we're starting with the premise of what is an axiom and why ought we use one, Dean?
Okay, Andrew. So here's where you misstepped. So it was on the second part where you said that I had said that in order for her position to be true, that yours also has to be true. And you're saying that I denied that. I'll go ahead and reposit my claim.
Okay.
However, I'd like to make very clear to Andrew, to Brian, and to everybody watching that Andrew, if you just allow me a minute to speak, Andrew doesn't feel comfortable talking about what really matters here, such as the morality of slut shaming.
Well, hang on. Morality. Wait. Well, we're talking about meta ethics. That is related to morality. Right now, I'm just trying to figure out from your perspective why we should use axioms when we're making moral claims.
I actually was making a descriptive claim. You can't track.
Okay, what's descriptive about your claim?
Yes, I said that. I said that we should be reasonable.
That's an ought claim, not a descriptive claim.
But the should.
What does the word should mean, Dean?
Should can exist in a normative sense and in a descriptive
Okay,
sense.
so when you say we should do a thing, you're not saying we ought do that thing?
It's not ought in a normative sense because it's not conducive towards like a moral goal.
Okay, well, just so you know, normative means ought, Dean. How did you not know that?
You could have a
normative claim is an ought claim, Dean. That's what normative means in philosophy. You should really take my course on debating, Dean. It would help you.
So no, when we're talking about normativity, you could have a normative ought and a non-normative ought.
What's a non-normative ought?
Yeah, because they're going to be conducive to some goal, right? Aside from like your ethical principles. Like for instance.
Okay. So wait a second. I just want to make sure. You're making a moral claim that is not an ought claim. Is that correct?
No, it's not a moral claim.
Oh, it's not a moral claim.
Right. For instance, if we're playing chess and the best move for me to make is to move a pawn up a square, I'd say it'd be good for me to move that pawn. But when I say it'd be good for me to move that pawn, am I saying it's a morally good thing for me to move that pawn, Andrew?
No, but if you're making a moral claim when you say should, if you're making you made a moral claim and said should though, that's an ought for morality. Okay, but go ahead, restate your position. Go ahead.
Dean, just
don't mute him, Brian. Never mute him. Unmute him.
I'm going to let them both speak, but you guys got to let each other talk.
Okay, fair enough. Go ahead, Dean.
Go ahead, Dean. Go ahead.
Thank you. So I'm happy that I could clear up that non-normative oughts could exist with my example of a chess game. Now that we move past this pedantic bullshit, here's what I want to tell you.
Well, no. Well, hang on. There's just one more clarifier. When you say normative, you said a non-normative claim. I just want to make sure when you say normative, I just want to make sure when you say normative going forward, you're not saying ought, right? When you say normative, you're not saying ought, you're saying something else?
So once again, I've described this to you twice already. I'll describe it for a third time. You could have normative should claims, meaning that it's morally good to do something, and you could have descriptive should claims, insofar as it's conducive towards a goal.
Got it. So what was the descriptive part of your claim?
It's like the descriptive part of the claim was to say that we should be reasonable insofar as that's conducive towards the goal of a higher level of rationale. Now, if you will let me get back to the fucking topic, all you want to do in this meta conversation, because you can't give me one good reason why promiscuity is wrong.
You give me a good reason why you should not be promiscuous?
Why is promiscuity inherently wrong?
Oh, inherently wrong. Well, let's clear up a few terms. So I just want to make sure, what does wrong mean?
Something you shouldn't do in this sense.
Okay, so it is a normative claim?
Yeah, I'm guessing you're making a normative claim with your background, Andrew.
Well, I just want to make sure. So when we say wrong, okay, but Dean, there's a reason we're clearing this up. When you say wrong, you mean immoral, right?
Yeah, wrong means shouldn't, means immoral, and the normative sense that you're describing when you make the claim that slut shaming is good. I'm guessing you mean that normatively, right?
As a moral ought.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm running a counter argument against you. I'm internally critiquing your stance. So when I say, give me a reason why it's wrong, go for it. Yeah.
So let's dive through this. So we'll just kind of start at the beginning, and then we'll move it through until we get to the end.
I got 5 more minutes. I just want to make that clear.
Okay. Yeah. So let's start with a normative claim that shame is a useful tool. Okay. Well, I'll start with this. Shame is a useful tool when you're trying to mold society into, X thing that you want. Shame can be a useful tool. Why we ought to use shame is because we can utilize that as some type of imperative to any type of morality that we're trying to produce on society. Use a utilitarian or whatever would basically agree that this is the case, right?
I generally agree that it's okay to shame bad things.
Yeah. So it's an effective method, and you would agree from your worldview that shame ought to be employed at times, right?
Yeah, it's generally a good thing to shame bad things. Now, my question, give me one reason why promiscuity is wrong.
Give me one reason why murder is.
One reason why murder is wrong is because it's a right violation. That was a damning non-answer. Stop pivoting and answer mine.
Wait. I'm sorry. What was your answer?
Yeah, it's a rights violation.
Now, okay. It's a rights violation. Okay, hang on. Dean, we're just making sure we get the terms clarified. When you say rights, where do rights exist?
I'm not going into that meta-ethical conversation with you. This is a pivot.
It's not a pivot for us to clarify language.
It is absolutely a pivot.
Yeah, so you won't get into meta-ethics?
I'm not going to get into your pivot. No.
So I don't understand how am I supposed to debate with you on these terms if we can't get to the meta ethics so that we can decide which terms are what, why they're that way, and then how we can actually hang on, Dean, calm down. I honestly want to do this with you. I just want to clear this stuff up. That's it.
Holy shit. Andrew, but we actually shouldn't even be debating about this right now because I asked you for one
Should it in a normative sense or a non-normative sense?
Non-normative sense. So I asked you for
non-normative. Okay. Just so in a descriptive sense, we shouldn't be debating it.
5, 4, good boy. Allow me to finish. So I asked you for one reason why
you still got the blindfold off.
5, because I mean we're not.
You're just cheating again.
Okay, 5, 4, 3, good boy. All right. So I asked you for one reason why promiscuity is wrong, and then you responded to me by saying, "What's one reason murder is wrong?" So actually, Andrew, that was a pivot around my question, analytically speaking.
Well, hey, hang on. I think that's fair, but the only reason I answer the question with a question is because you refuse to get into the meta ethics of what wrong means. And so I used what's called a demonstration. I used a demonstration in order to try in some way from your worldview to understand what wrong was. You made the claim then that what wrong is something which is a violation of rights. Great. Now we're getting somewhere. So then what is a right and where does it exist? This is really pivotal to a debate, Dean.
Actually, I reject that. Demonstrate the relevance of me telling you, in accordance with my framework of deontic duties, what is relevant in describing.
Because I don't understand what you mean by the term. Yeah, so because I don't understand what you mean by the term wrong. I don't understand what you mean by the term wrong. I don't understand what that means.
1, good boy. Allow me to finish. And
you just told me. You just asked me the question.
4, 3.
How are you going to ask me a question and then when I answer it, you start counting? Why are you still counting? Can you just engage, Dean?
Demonstrate more maturity than my 6-year-old nephew.
Yeah, I don't know. You're the one, bro. You asked me a question, then when I answered it, you cut in. I don't get it.
I was not asking you a question. In fact, I was in the middle of a statement. I was not asking you a question.
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead. Go ahead with your statement. Go ahead.
But that's okay. Don't worry. I'll catch you up to speed. So here's the big issue.
Hang on, woman. Bring me another beer.
Okay. All right.
You can ask your grandma or whoever's house you're living at if she'll grab you a beer. But go ahead.
Oh, I am living at my grandparents, but luckily right now I'm at the girlfriend's house. And unlike you, I don't treat women in my life like shit, and that's why I won't die alone. Anyways,
I'm married, Dean. I'm married.
Yeah, that's the thing. You will still die alone, unfortunately, most likely. I mean, at some point we all have alone.
What?
If you continue
Why? Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead, Dean.
Feelings getting hurt. I'll bow the knee on that topic, going back to what I originally came here to discuss. So I asked you for one reason why promiscuity is wrong, and to be honest, in a yes or no, have you answered that question?
Well, I don't understand the coherency of the question. I have listen. I have to understand what you mean by these terms. Do you know why? So do you? Hang on, Dean. Let me explain. You agree with me? I'll just ask you this question. Do you agree with me that people can come up with any definition they want for a word, any definition they want, they can come up with, right?
Yeah, sure. I'll clear the air. I understand exactly what you're asking.
Great. So then the thing is that hang on, Dean. I'm just going to follow up real quick and then I'll let you talk. So if that is the case, and it is the case that everybody can have their own definitions of everything, when we're getting into these moral claims, you're asking me to give you a moral reason why X is wrong. Then we need to know what we mean by morals. We need to know exactly what you mean when you're asking me what wrong is, and we need to know what these things are. That's why the meta-ethical discussion is so important. But anyway, go ahead.
Of course.
Hey, blindfold.
Yeah,
Dean. Thank you, Dean.
Okay, and if you're curious what's behind my phone, it is my girlfriend folding her clothes. Anyways, I don't think that I'll be cheating. Anyways, so I asked you for one reason why promiscuity is morally wrong.
Yeah, it's a loaded question.
So when we say morally wrong, all that we're saying is that it's something that you shouldn't do in a normative sense. And insofar as where this wrongness is generated from, this would be entailed given your view, as this is an internal critique. So I am not subjugating you, right, to my view. So
I'm not critiquing your view. I'm asking simply. So hang on. I'm not critiquing your view. I'm not doing an internal critique. I agree that you're doing an internal critique of my view, and I'm happy to answer to these things. But Dean, listen, just chill out, bro. I just I just listened to what you said. But what you're asking are loaded philosophical terms. And so
It's not a fucking loaded question to ask you for a
bro,
reason
would you calm down again?
Dude, if there's a white supremacist
boy,
on the street,
man, you're really
they'll
freaking
say
out
that
here,
if-
Dean. You
one
need to
second,
stop spurting, bro.
If there's like a Christian evangelicist on the street and they're like,
What's an evangelicist?
Oh, I'm not answering that question. And they're preaching that it's.
Oh, you don't know what an I've never heard. Is evangelicist a word? I'm looking it up.
I mispronounced it, but it's going to be typically
evangelicist.
Or Catholic Church down south, particularly.
No, you mean an evangelist, not an evangelicist.
Yes,
okay, gotcha.
The word. So, are you going to highlight the fact that I mispronounced that word? Are you going to listen to me insofar as why you?
Well, I do. Words matter, Dean. I'm just trying to be very specific here.
I actually doubt that there was any level of relevance to you interrupting me and correcting my pronunciation of the word.
I want to make sure I know what you're talking about, Dean. I'm sorry.
I actually completely doubt that. I think that you can't.
Well, I mean, you doubt. I'm sorry you doubt things.
Rather talk about
sorry about your emotional state, Dean.
Well, I appreciate you apologizing for my emotional state. As you're the one that.
I am sorry that you're in that emotional state. Yes.
So, anyways, I will go and repeat what I said. It is not a philosophically loaded question for me to ask you a reason why you think something's bad. If you continue to posit the view that it is, I will leave because you're not worth my time.
Okay. Well, nobody cares if you leave, Dean. Go ahead.
Okay, so you're refusing to answer the
no,
question.
No, I just want to dive in. I want to dive in, bro. Do you agree with me that it's highly important? Semantics in a debate are highly important. The meta-ethical foundation, what we mean by terms, is absolutely important before we can. No, you don't agree?
Let each other finish, please.
I don't
let each other finish.
I don't think that your meta-ethical view, insofar is the internal critique that I'm running on you on where you think wrongness is derived of.
Yeah, but I need to understand what you're asking. Yeah, but where it's derived. Listen, that's fair. Like, it's fair to run and Dean, you can run your internal critique. All we have to do is clarify some meta-ethics. That's it.
Well, if I'm running an internal critique, what meta-ethical framework would we be operating under?
My understanding of the coherency of what you're asking.
No, it is your understanding of how you view meta-ethics. Why is it relevant for us to talk about my view?
Because you said the word wrong. You're asking me about the word wrong. And yes, so it's important for me. Hang on, bro. Do you want me to answer? All right, you let me know.
Again, I'm leaving.
Nobody can. Okay, so real quick, Dean. There's a couple things here. First, nobody gives a shit if you leave. Second, okay, it's super important for me to understand the cohesiveness of the terms that you're using when you're asking me these questions so that I can give you the answers to them. This is Philosophy 101. There's a course you should take. It's called Debate University. You would get a lot of value out of it. Right now it's on sale through the new year, by the way.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and just posit this as a last statement. If you can't answer my question following from this, I'm going to go ahead and dip. So all that I've tried to do in the entire time that this debate has been unfolding is I've tried to ask you one simple question. The one simple question that I've tried to ask you is give me one reason why you think promiscuity is wrong. Okay? And in our conversation so far, allow me to finish before you interrupt. You've asked me about my meta-ethical framework. You've asked me about what I mean by an entailment. You've asked me what I mean by an axiom. You've tried to talk to me about how you pronounce like certain words related to the Christian faith. But meanwhile, you've been able to successfully evade everything but giving me an answer to that question. In fact, the first time I asked you this question on can you name one reason why promiscuity is wrong, you literally responded to me by asking me for a reason why I think murder is wrong. So, Andrew, and in good faith, I will ask you one last time. The question I'm asking you very specifically is, are you able, literally, I don't even know if you're able to do this, your abstract thinking ability is incredibly low, are you able to name one singular reason why promiscuity is wrong? Now, it is important for me to clarify in terms because you deem semantics to be incredibly valuable and important to this conversation. When I am asking you for one reason why you deem this to be wrong, all that I'm asking you is why do you think that this is something that we shouldn't do? I don't care what your meta-ethical framework is. I don't care if you think that this is something that we shouldn't do objectively or subjectively.
Okay.
I don't really care what your normative view is. All that I want is for one reason why this would sufficiently justify your normative criteria.
Hey, hang on 1 second, Dean. There's this thing going off. Hang on. Okay, go ahead.
What the fuck is that?
So I've already clarified that I don't care about your
Thank you,
meta-ethical view.
I
And I
guess.
don't really care about your normative view that much either, because at the end of the day, all that I'm asking for is your internal reasons why this sufficiently justifies your standard for moral wrongness under your normative view. So at this point, the same way I'd ask someone that thinks being gay is wrong, why they think being gay is wrong, the same way I'd ask someone that thinks racism isn't wrong is why do they think that racism is good. I'm asking you to provide one singular reason why promiscuity is wrong.
And I can't wait to do that. I just want to ask you a couple of clarifying questions. That's all I'm asking for.
Here, Dean, hold on. Andrew, if Dean answers the questions, like how long will it, like 3 minutes, 2 minutes?
Yeah,
It's
just a few questions so that we can clear up a few of the semantics.
Do you need 2 minutes? Andrew,
Give me like just a few questions, maybe like 2-3 questions.
Okay, Dean, is that okay? Dean, can you answer just 2 or 3 questions for Andrew?
I failed to see any possible question that would be relevant. What are your questions? I mean, let's see.
Well, okay,
For the sake of time, just answer them.
So the first question is, what does wrong mean when you're asking me if something is wrong? What does that mean?
I've already clarified on that.
Yeah, I know. Clarify again, though, please.
Are you listening?
I just want to be precise here. What do you mean when you say wrong?
I already said it. I say it again.
Yeah, say it again, please, so that I understand.
It's something you shouldn't do in a normative sense.
Okay, so you ought not do the thing.
Yes, bro.
Okay,
Holy shit.
so we ought not do the thing. Now, the second question that I have is when you say ought, are all oughts axiomatic?
All right, Andrew. Fuck you. You're wasting my time.
All right. Andrew, you still there? He left.
I'm still here. Where'd Dean go?
Yeah.
I just had a couple clarification questions, but he just said fuck you and rage quit. I just wanted to clarify a couple things.
Yeah. Well, if I think you could have gotten through all of those questions had there not been like a 10-minute meta conversations over his objections to you asking the clarifying questions.
I just wanted to know a couple of clarifying things that were very important so that I understood his worldview and what he's actually asking me for.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah.
He seemed very upset. I don't know. Dean, can he come back? I literally just have that question, one more, and then I'll answer your questions because then I'll at least understand what you mean by it.
All right. Let's see.